A speaker cabinet that vibrates is a speaker cabinet that colors the sound. Everything you hear has the cabinet's signature mixed in. So the goal is simple: make a cabinet that does nothing. It just gets out of the way. But what actually happens when you change the material composition of the cabinet? Does it make a measurable difference? So I built 5 test samples. I wanted to find out, and the answer surprised me. So a quick recap of where we left off on last week's video. I showed the waterfall plot from Danny's measurements, and it showed me where to go next. So the base Simmental mix performed really well, but I want it to do better, specifically to improve the internal dampening of the cabinet material. So I designed a controlled test. I 3D printed a precision split mold. Each panel it produces is identical, same geometry, same mold, same cure time. The only variable between the panels is the formulation. 5 panels, 5 formulas, 1 measurement session. And that is how you isolate a variable. Here's one of the 5 panels. Panel 1 is my control. Standard base mix, no additives. This is the same material you saw in last week's video where GR Research did the testing. Everything else will get compared to this. Panels 2 through 5 each contain a proprietary blend of acoustic additives at increasing concentrations. I'm not going to go into detail what's in the formula on camera because that stays proprietary. But what I will show you is exactly what each formulation does to the acoustic behavior of the material, because that is what actually matters. For the acoustic testing, I'm using a MiniDSP UMIK-1. It's a measurement microphone connected to the REW software. Each panel hangs freely from a corner hole that I molded in during casting. You might ask, why suspended? Because a panel resting on a surface damps its own resonance. To get a clean measurement, it needs to vibrate freely. I tapped the back of each panel 3 times with a steel striker. The software captures the peak frequency response across all 3 strikes. And what I'm looking for is simple: where does the panel resonate and how loudly? I want to thank this week's sponsor, Pale Blue Batteries. They got these really cool batteries with a USB-C port right on the battery. You can take a power bank on the go, you can charge them up, have power on the go. Pale Blue Batteries, they're awesome. This graph shows the acoustic response of all 5 panels. Each peak is where that panel resonates when struck. And the further left that panel sits, the lower the resonant frequency, and the further it is from the frequencies you're actually listening to. The gray line is my control, no additives. The gold line moved furthest left of any viable formulation, and so that's the winner. Now there's a little bit more I want to tweak. The peak SPL on the gold line is slightly higher than the control. That material is resonating at a better frequency, but a little bit louder than I'd like. So I'm fine-tuning the formula. I have an additional component to add to this formulation that is specifically designed to address that SPL. This is the refinement process, locking in the frequency behavior first, then dialing in the damping. That test is going to happen next week. I want to be clear about what this data does and doesn't tell me. These are test panels, not cabinets. What the panel data confirms is that formula changes the acoustic behavior of the material in a measurable, consistent way, and that there's a specific point where that behavior is optimized. But before I move to full cabinets, I'm testing one more test panel. I want to see if I can bring that peak SPL down even further with a small modification to the level 2 formula. If it improves the dampening, that becomes the production formula. If it doesn't move the needle, then the level 2 formula is already locked in. Either way, I'll have the answer next week. Here's why this process matters. Most speaker manufacturers don't show you their testing methodology. They don't walk you through the data. They don't explain why they made the decisions that they made. I'm doing the opposite. So this formula wasn't based on intuition. It was tested, measured, and selected based on the data. And that's what I'm building this speaker on. Next week, 1 more panel test, then 2 full cabinets go into production. When Danny has run his measurements, that video will show you exactly what this formula does to the waterfall plot we looked at last time. If you want to know the moment that this speaker becomes available, get on my email list. The link is in the description, or you can email me at info@timberwestdesign.com. and you'll be the one to hear about it before anyone else. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.